Peace family, we back again with another YouTube video, and in this video we're going to be talking about 4 things that negatively impact your mental health and prevent and block you from achieving what you want to achieve in life, block you from success, block you from just becoming the best overall version of yourself and accessing that higher timeline, okay? But before we get into that, it's 2024, the year of the 8, the year of abundance, the year of reaping all the rewards and benefits of all the hard work you did in 2023. You feel me? So we stepping into our power. I'm coming with that energy. You feel me? Now is the time to really embrace your light and embrace who you truly are. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing I want to talk about that's taking a toll on your mental health is negative thinking patterns on a daily basis. How do you expect your mental health to be on point? How do you expect to have good mental health if you're thinking negative every single day? You see, you have to understand what thought is. You have to understand the power of thought. Thoughts are literally electrical signals in your brain that carry vibration, they carry energy, and it has more of an impact on your life than you might think. And remember, everything, and I mean everything you see today in this world, every creation started with a thought. So when you're constantly in these cycles of negative thinking on a daily basis, it's only a matter of time before you start having more of those negative thoughts after you've been thinking them for a while. And then it's only a matter of time before you start doing things. You start forming habits that don't serve you, that align with those thoughts that you were having. For example, right? If you're someone who is, in a state of like depression and misery, and you're talking down on yourself all the time, beating yourself up, saying you're not good enough, right? And you have these thoughts often, it's only a matter of time before they start to get worse and worse and worse until at some point, well, you might commit suicide. You might take your pan out on the world and do something you regret. It leads to a negative action, right? So it's extremely important to make sure that you heal from this. And if you're aware of these thinking patterns, do your best to try to reprogram yourself with positive thought. As soon as a negative thought pops up, right, I want you to dismiss it first and then replace it with a positive one. And when you get in the habit of doing that, over time, you'll see that those negative thinking patterns will dissipate, and you'll have a whole new, thinking pattern that's more positive and that will serve you in the future. Now, the second thing I want to talk about that's taking a toll on your mental health is your environment. And this is a very important one that is overlooked very often. I know y'all heard the saying, you are who you hang around, which is very true. And a lot of y'all are constantly around people who you identify as your friends, or you're around family members who, carry this toxic energy, or they do things that don't serve you and don't serve themselves. And it just leaves you drained, and it leaves you unmotivated. If they give off this negative energy to you every time you're around them, then why are you around them? You know what I'm saying? Why are you around them at all? And if you got to be around them, like family members, for example, you need to make time for yourself so you can charge back up. And you need to literally block off that negative energy and not allow it to affect your auric field. And also to all the people who are just sensitive to energy and are what is known as empaths, right? You need to be careful as well. You need to be extremely careful because you are an absorber. And when you're absorbing all these different energies, all these different negative energies around you, if you allow it to get in, it'll affect you drastically in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? So you just need to make sure you kind of shield yourself off, protect yourself, and make time for yourself. Charge yourself up. And don't open yourself to anything you don't need to. Now, the third thing I want to talk about that's taking a toll on your mental health is your diet, your shitty diet. And I feel like this isn't really talked about enough. I mean, there's a lot of people talking about it nowadays, you feel me? But it's just so important that I feel like more people should be speaking up on it, because everything we put in our temples is important. You know what I mean? Like, we need to be mindful of what we're putting in our temples. We consume so much poison and so many toxins on a daily basis that we're not even aware on how it's taking a toll on our physical health and our mental health. We're not even aware. If you were to just detox and then change your diet to something more holistic, right, you'll notice the benefits. You will. You'll literally start to clear your mind. And a lot of these things that people experience, like depression, anxiety, all these different things will start to fade away because, you know, you're not feeding yourself that poison anymore. There's no chemical imbalance. They create chemical imbalances in the brain. And it's taking a huge toll on your mental health. You know what I'm saying? Now, the last thing, and perhaps in my opinion, the most relevant in today's society that's taking a toll on your mental health is instant gratification. And this is such a huge one, y'all. This is affecting so many people today. When you depend on instant gratification, right, you are abusing your dopamine receptors. Abusing your dopamine receptors, and you wonder why it leads to foggy headedness. You wonder why it leads to laziness, lack of willpower, low testosterone in men. It's because you are abusing your dopamine receptors and you want to be rewarded fast with no effort, no work put in whatsoever. You feel me? And it's gotten so out of control. It's gotten so bad to the point where you got people who can't even imagine life without their phone or any form of technology, for that matter, whatever it is they like doing that gives them that dopamine high. They can't imagine life without it. It's like people are so indulged in that technology. Well, really anything that gives them that instant gratification. They're so indulged in it to where they're just so numb to reality. And they wonder why they're bored all the time, why life is just boring. So they just go back to their activity, whatever they were doing, so they can numb themselves even more. But it's just so sad because it's truly just ruined lives. It's ruined everything. It's ruined society. And when you're constantly abusing these instant gratification activities, you sort of lose that glow. You know what I'm saying? You lose that glow. It's like you lose a little bit of that life in you. And it's noticeable. You know, people will notice that. And always remember to put purpose over pleasure. When you put pleasure over purpose, you begin to lose respect for yourself. And the day that you put pleasure over purpose is the beginning of your downfall. Don't ever forget that, purpose over pleasure. But anyway, that wraps up the video. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe, make sure y'all share. Stay growing and stay evolving. I love y'all. Peace.